All right, good evening and welcome to RPG Storytelling, where a bunch of chaotic friends enjoy an adventure of mythic storytelling. Before we jump into tonight's episode of Myths of Gaea, there are a couple of announcements that we wanted to run through first. So I'll get us started. So aside from myself and our chaotic champions, all of our players here, we now have a brand new member of the team who will be working behind the scenes. Dragon Lin Productions will be handling all of our audio processing and engineering for each of our stream recordings before we upload them to YouTube. You can find them at Dragon Lin on YouTube to see the other projects they have been working on, as well as checking out their Linktree, which I'll post here in the chat in just a moment, for all of their other social media and contact information. But I'll go ahead and read it out for you. It's https://linktr.ee/dragonlynn. All right, so next up, let's go ahead and bring in Cassie for our next announcement.
All right, so speaking of YouTube, a couple of weeks ago, we uploaded our session 0, which we ran on June 1st, to our brand new YouTube channel. For that session and all of our future sessions, including this one, you can head over to youtube.com/@RPG Storytelling LLC. And we'll post that link in chat and on our socials for you as well. And make sure to like and subscribe so that you can be notified whenever we upload new content.
All right, next up we have Amber Lee with our next announcement.
Hello. So, we have a pretty cool artist that we are working with. As a matter of fact, we have worked with him before, and he has created some legendary badass artwork for all of us. So, we are happy to announce that you can find Dusty Graphics on TikTok. That is spelled DUSEY. I don't know what kind of underscore, I guess. I mean, we'll post that. GRAFIX. All lowercase. And currently, he's hard at work creating the first round of our custom character artwork. And we hope to be able to share those with you by next session, as well as on of our social media venues. In the meantime, we'll share some of the past work he has done for us, so that way you can see how amazing he is. I mean, he just pulls stuff out of your brain like no other. He's awesome. So, and lastly, for me, be warned, I will be a wiggle worm tonight. I am dealing with a cat injury. My thigh. If you want to know more about that, hit us up in the chat.
All right, next up we have Christy with our next announcement.
Push a talk. On the topic of artwork, you will notice that we are wearing t-shirts, all of us. I can't really see mine, but it's there. We've got our awesome logo with commissioned artwork. If you would like a shirt of your own, or mugs, stickers, notebooks, I have my snazzy notebook here already for tonight. Wall art and more, head over to the website, rpgstorytelling.com, and click the store link at the top of the page. And once we get our official artwork from Dusty Graphics, we'll be adding even more options for our store for your enjoyment. I highly suggest a mug with Gray's gorgeous mug on it, because who wouldn't want to look at that face first thing in the morning? And during the month of July, we will automatically take 10% off of every order as part of our celebrating the launch of Myths of Gaea.
That is actually a typo on my part. It's actually 15% off of every order, not including the shipping. All right, next up is Amy with our final announcement of the evening.
So in case you need any of our links, last up is here where you can find us out in the verse. Our website is www.rpgstorytelling.com. On Instagram, you can find us at at RPG_storytelling. Over at Facebook, we have two possibilities for you. Our public-facing advertising page is facebook.com/RPG storytelling. And we also have a Facebook community where our fans can interact with each other and our other players, and that can be found at facebook.com/groups/RPG storytelling. I'm going to post a link tree which has all of these different links included to make this easy for you to all find. I'm going to post that in the game time chat and the announcement channels here in our Myths of Gaea Discord group.
Wonderful. Well, I believe that concludes all of the announcements we have for now. So let's go ahead and travel back through the pages of history to the Myths of Gaea. Here at RPG Storytelling, we have a little tradition that we have found helps the champions to stay more invested in what is happening each session. Starting with our August session, so next month, we'll have each of our champions roll a d20 to see who will tell the story of what happened last time, or tonight, to be precise. Let's see, where'd I go? Whichever champion rolls the lowest will be our storyteller for that session. But there are some caveats to that. If a champion rolls a natural 20, they get to choose who will be telling the story for what happened the previous session. And they can be any of the players or myself. So it's completely up to that player who they want to tell the story. However, if a champion rolls a natural 1 on their d20 roll, they automatically get to tell the story, regardless of any natural 20s that may have been rolled. But for this story time, I'll be giving the recap, just because it's a brand new thing for all of us. So, last time on Myths of Gaea, 7 strangers, each with their own purpose and each with a healthy dose of curiosity and adventure-seeking, have arrived here in Cragminster, the capital city of the Bregalla Empire. A noisy confrontation drew 6 of these strangers to a horse stable near the stone gate of the walled city. Through a curious turn of events, this confrontation produced something of a reunion between old acquaintances named Freya and Sorsha. But as the crowd continued to grow, a flying centaur by the name of Greer being thrown through the stable's wall was more than enough to interrupt the burgeoning reunion. The centaur, a dear friend once thought dead. The thrower, a huge minotaur with 6 horns named Tunrahg the Cruel, the one responsible for killing the centaur a few years earlier. In the clutches of Tunrahg, a helpless Githzerai, friend to Arius, one of the gathered strangers. After a brief and extremely aggressive conversation, Tunrahg charged at Greer, who was pulled out of the way just in the nick of time by Freya and another stranger named Ambelina, and nearly trampling another stranger named Gray, who was just there curious about what was going on. Without stopping, a chase through the streets of Cragminster ensued. But before these 6 strangers could take up the chase, a 7th, named Val, climbed from Greer's shadow. Each for their own reasons took up the chase after Tunrahg the Cruel. During this chase, each of these 7 individuals did what they could to slow or stop Tunragh's escape. After several twists and turns through the streets of the city, and several interesting attempts to stop Tunrahg, Freya managed to lasso one of his horns and yank him to a stop. But before Tunrahg could slam the helpless Githzerai into his chest, he activated a teleportation gem. But from the Githzerai's hand fell a short note covered in blood. And this is where we rejoin the adventure in progress. Champions, take it away.
Well, that was a bit of a ruckus if I've ever seen one. I could go for a pint. Anyone care to join me?
Well,
Always
after
down for
Could
good
use
food.
one.
Are you buying?
Me?
You suggested going to get a pint. I was asking if you were buying.
I suppose
I
it's only
just
fair I
don't-
get the first round after an offer like that.
It's usually a good start to a fantastic evening, sometimes.
I hate to break it to you. I don't buy other people anything.
You probably have very boring evenings then.
Not to worry, Kitty. I've already offered.
Kitty? Who are you calling Kitty?
Well, I don't come up too often to the world of the living, yet to be offered a drink is a rare treat for me, so I suppose why not?
You've never had a drink before? You? Oh my dude, we're gonna have to change that. For you, I will buy you all the drinks in the world and all of the food snacks. I'm Ambelina. We should go get food and drink.
Let's go see what's left of the pub around the corner then.
Oh, I'm sorry, but a gigantic minotaur just took a friend of mine and teleported out of the way. One of you said you were hunting this thing. Who was that again? You know how to track this
That
thing,
was me.
right? Um, Not that a drink wouldn't be helpful, but I'm kind of more focused on trying to save them. Um, any idea where we can start with that?
I have an idea, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. So, grabbing a drink, resting, and getting ready for the long journey ahead is not a bad idea.
Oh, well, as long as you have an idea. Okay, let's go.
Don't worry,
I
enough
lose my
alcohol
arm
and your
right
mind
now.
will be well taken off of your pining.
Let me try.
Flower, are you old enough to drink yet? Care to join us?
Oh, it's been a long time since I've heard that name. Yes, I suppose I've grown up quite a bit since we first met. I am most certainly old enough to drink, although I admit I don't do so regularly.
Miss Muscles is obviously coming with us just in case the Minotaur is coming back.
Was that me that's obviously coming with you, just in case a Minotaur comes back?
Look, you have the broadest shoulders of all of us. Although, if you can wrestle anything else like you wrestle that Minotaur, you are more than welcome to hang out with us. Plenty.
I do think the stable got a bit messed up though, so we'll have to find somewhere safe to put your horse.
Yes, that. Do most taverns not have a? I don't know. I've never been to a city of this size before, so I'm not sure how cities work. Where I'm from, there's hitching posts aplenty.
We'll see if we can find one in the front. And with that, Saoirse starts leading the way back around the corner.
And, in deference to all of my new companions, I will not mount back up and just walk storm.
I loop my arm through Vale's arms and I start skipping over to the pub.
Alright, so as you exit the courtyard and head back in the direction of the Sacred Chalice, you pass through a lot of the streets that you had previously come down when you were doing the chase after Tunrahg. But now that you're going at a slower pace, you're able to look around and you're able to see some of the destruction that he caused as he came through. You see several puddles of blood from where he had crushed certain small animals. You see wrecked carts and wrecked buildings. You see market stalls that the owners are trying to set back up after all the chaos. You even see a few dead bodies here and there from getting in his way. But eventually you do make it back over towards the Sacred Chalice. So, as you approach the simple-looking two-story wood-framed building, you hear a melodic tune as produced by a small group of bardic performers, and for those of you with a passive perception higher than 1, you immediately take note of the enticing aroma of a hearty stew being warmed over a kitchen fire. Nearing the front entrance, you might look up to see the wooden sign above the door, which reads Sacred Chalice, and includes an engraving of an elegant goblet below the words. Opening the front door, that deliciously hearty meat and vegetable stew aroma hits you in the face like a brick wall. But, at the same time, strangely, the sweetly succulent smell does its best to convince you to enter and feast on its deliciousness. Just inside and to the left, you hear the source of that melodic tune you heard as you were approaching, as 3 young-looking half-elves perform their newest single, Whispers of the Enchanted Heart. Listening in, you learn that the poet at the front is singing about a mischievous young fairy she once knew. As the music begins and the songstress offers her lilting song to the listening crowd, you all hear another voice join in, coming from a very unexpected source. Freya, care to share?
All right, here we go. I remember the day when we first met, you with your mischievous smile. A beautiful fairy with secrets to tell was enchanted by your style. We danced under the starlit sky, lost in a world of our own. Every moment with you felt like a dream, a memory I always have known. But as time went by, things started to change. Oh, whispers of doubt crept in. Your heart seemed to wander away from me, leaving mine shattered within. And I'm grateful for the love that we shared, the magic you brought to my life. But now I am left with a broken heart, alone in this world of strife. I'll hold on to the memories we made, even though they now bring me to tears. For the beauty we had will never fade, even as my enchanted heart feels. So goodbye to you, my fairy of the past. I'll cherish the moments we had. As I navigate this road alone, without you by my side, full of lost love and memories glad, in the dust of times gone by. I sing of you, my fairy dream, a mischievous heart, ne'er one.
I don't know about the rest of you, but that was absolutely gorgeous. So, moving further into the establishment, you enter a large open room. Several tables and booths surround a central square-shaped bar. Two large wooden barrels filling most of the area within the bar's confines, and there are several paintings hung on the walls around the room. Aside from the band and the tavern staff, there's maybe about 10 people enjoying a drink or possibly a bit of stew. At a booth right inside the door is an older dwarven couple having a quiet date night meal together and listening to the music. A few booths away, two young women, maybe in their early 20s, are sitting next to each other as they share a bottle of wine, doing a very, very bad job of not being too obvious to each other, or anyone else for that matter, that they are lusting after the beautiful half-elf singing her song on the stage. In a corner booth near the back of the bar is a man sitting alone, except for a large brownish bird, possibly a hawk, which is perched on a seat next to him. He is clad all in black with a decorative longsword leaning against the table next to him, the only light illuminating his features being a small, single candle sitting atop his table. And standing behind the bar is a half-elf man with bluish silver hair, emerald green eyes, and 3 earrings hanging from the tip of his left ear. He looks to be possibly in his mid-40s, you might guess. He moves about filling goblets with ale and mead, glasses with one of several different types of wine, most of which are from the Dragon's Blood winery outside the city, or mixing various cocktails and mocktails for his thirsty patrons. Looking around, you manage to find a table near the bar big enough to accommodate all 7 of you.
I
then.
holler.
Go ahead.
Apologies. I'm having slight laggy issues. I will holler for the barkeep to bring one of everything to sample for Vale.
I will also ask for a round of ales for the rest of us.
He looks up at the two of you, sees the various creatures standing before him, and is immediately drawn to Greer, this large centaur standing in his doorway as y'all move in. Hearing your order, he looks up, nods, and then goes back to mixing drinks, possibly pulling together the various drinks that you've ordered.
I don't need a chair, and I'll just pull up and kind of kneel. And once I kneel, I'm kind of at chair height with everyone, so.
It's like he hasn't ever seen a beautiful woman before.
This once or twice.
I suppose I'd best divest myself of my sword and shield. I make it a little difficult to sit at a table.
Is a sword and shield not removable? Just sit down to the side. Put your feet up. Well, don't let it on the table. That's kind of gross.
If there are like hooks by the door for cloaks and stuff, I'll go ahead and hang my shield over there, but the sword I will loop over the back of the chair.
The nearest approximation of a hook that you might find would be a sad-looking coat rack over next to the fireplace in front of the stage.
Don't worry, I don't think anyone here is going to stab you any.
I guess I'll hang on to the shield too.
It's sort of a special sword. I don't blame her for holding on to it.
Well, the sword, yes. It's the shield that is a little cumbersome, I think is the word.
Well, some of you are rather far from home.
Indeed, and I've met a
All of
couple
us
of you
are.
before, but obviously, this is my first time seeing a couple of you, so I'm Saoirse. Obviously, I come from Tunrahg and have come out here to try to find out how so many of you humans are finding your way in there lately. I've met a couple of you. I know Greer from a time quite long ago, and I've met the little flower there before, and well, she was quite littler last time I saw her anyway.
Not exactly little now.
Yes. What brings the rest of you here besides fighting the beast?
Well, I suppose I can answer a few questions. Let's just say, other than fighting the beast, am here to somewhat investigate some of these interesting occurrences that you speak of as well. For you see, I come from a place known as Otherworld. It has many names. Some of you know it as Hell, Underworld, Land of the Dead, that sort of place. Not exactly pleasant, but
Do bad
the
people
job's the
go there?
job. Well, that is up to the Morrigan and what she decides your fate to be.
Cool.
But unfortunately, well, it is, how should I put this? There's been some trouble as of recent. Certain mortals defying their fate, causing issues, tearing the tapestry of fate and fabric, things of that matter. I've been sent up to your world to investigate all of this and bring back some of the dissidents that have escaped that are causing trouble.
That's actually pretty freaking cool. How do you become this?
Well, you don't exactly become this. I was created and tasked with the charge. You don't exactly, well, become a dissident of Otherworld and by choice, essentially.
Oh.
Isn't that the
There aren't
truth?
many people who die by choice, I'm guessing.
So is
Yes,
that why this is your first time on this side? Is that what you meant?
More or less. The god of death and life, Auron, has granted me life as part of his creation in order to solve this problem. So I guess you could say I was only born today.
So it's your birthday.
Yes.
Take that alcohol away from you. I don't think you're old enough to drink
No,
yet, are
I
you?
think this is a perfect reason. Like, if he came from hell, like, dude needs it.
No. It's
Time,
okay. I will drink it for you.
thankfully, time flows differently. So within the time that it taken me to go from my plane of existence to yours, I'd estimate my lifespan to be about 25 years of your time.
Interesting.
So there is a limit of age for this substance you speak of?
Yes,
Only when the law is watching.
many people do prefer that children do not drink it.
I don't believe I resemble a child, do I?
The hell you do? No. I mean, that. I feel like anybody from where you came from, yeah, you be a man. No child.
Just a question to you. You're here to hunt down some denizens from this place you come from. Did that gigantic creature happen to be one of them, considering you seemed to be attacking it as soon as you arrived here?
Well, I was hoping that that creature knew of the one that I hunt. It seemed formidable, and since the one I am after currently is known as the Prince of Beasts, and that was the only beast in the area, I figured it might be a good start. Unless any of you know of this creature.
I
Nope.
believe someone
Is
does,
the
and I
creature you
don't.
seek.
I was never given a full description, just simply told that I must find the one called the Prince of Beasts. That is all.
Awfully broad, don't you think?
Yes, well, the Morrigan is not known for her sense of humor, so I suppose this is the gods' twisted way of having their fun, so to speak.
People go by so many different titles. I could be the Prince of Beasts as far as you know.
Yes, well, I suppose you could be, but
I have
my
been
great.
told I'm a bit of a beast in bed.
What?
That's so then.
Val looks over at his bracelet. No, I don't think you are. Otherwise, this would have done something, I think.
Greer,
Ooh, toys.
Greer, give me a history check real quick.
Yeah.
All right, what'd you come up with?
10.
10. Somewhere in the back of your mind, you recall hearing the name Prince of Beasts. And it's in relation to Tunrahg, but you can't remember quite exactly how they fit together.
I believe any of our interests align. If you've been sent from the other world and are in league with Iran, of all gods, I know something of this Prince of Beasts, and it indeed links up to this creature I seek.
Well then, I suppose we should work together in finding this creature. It yet seems it's tied us all together, some shape or form.
Indeed.
I suppose. I mean, I don't work well with others. I prefer work better alone. But
Work well with others, play with others very well. However, I'm just here because, well, you are very interesting. And I'm interested in those who are interesting. You may call me Gray.
I think I made rather a target of myself with our minotaur friend. So I figure I'd best find him before he finds me.
Let's
all
not be
seem like
calling
each
that
other's
creature a
best
friend.
I kind of want to see if I can neuter him and take him home and see if he can become friendly. If not, I mean, I guess we could just send parts back. I mean, that would work.
If I'm sitting anywhere near Ambelina, I scoot away a little bit.
If anyone gets the
Yes,
killing blow on that monster, it will be me. Just so everyone's clear.
that is perfectly fine for me. I'm Arius, by the way, and not to belabor the point, but he does have a friend of mine, and considering how he quite easily took care of all of us, I don't foresee him being safe for much longer. I understand you turning to Greer, some kind of plan to find him. might you maybe detail that plan a bit, just so I know that we're making progress towards it? Rather he not die.
It's entirely likely that he has retreated to his base of origin, which he's not usually. I know where it is. I haven't journeyed there myself. To my knowledge, he's not there often, but it's the first thing we can point ourselves toward.
Is it very far?
It's not near.
I just hope it's not too much out of the way from what I need to do.
Again, I
I've
can't
never been
remember.
one
How
to.
far is it?
How far was what?
His base. I can't remember what it's called.
So, Tunrahg space, I'm guessing?
Yes.
His base is somewhere over on the continent of Krioslos. Krioslos. Krioslos.
Would I know what the base was called? I think we might have mentioned it last session, but I did not write it down.
You know what? Let me look it up real quick, just to make sure. Zero. Did I give it a name? Probably not. If I did, I don't remember it, so I will look it up and get it to you.
All right, thank you. We're headed to Krioslos, if any of you are familiar with it.
That is a bit of a journey. Well, it'll give us time to figure out how to beat the creature, because even with this number, we were a bit outmatched.
I mean, we were all caught rather off guard, which doesn't help.
Well, considering its damage that it's produced while tearing through the town, I would say a bull through a pottery shop is an understatement.
Many have tried to fell him. Will not be an easy fight.
It might help it to get his testosterone down by neutering him, you know.
I'll welcome you to
Won't
try.
stop you.
Fireball usually helps. Maybe I'll try that
Entertaining
next time.
to watch you try.
Do whatever you will want with the creature's body, but its soul belongs to me.
Well, that's no doubt. I just wanted to experiment a little and see if that theory is correct. Take away the man. Does he become a docile little steer?
There's more to a man than testicles, my dear.
I would argue
What do you
that
say?
steer are not necessarily docile.
Well, I mean, yeah, I agree to disagree. I mean, it depends on when you do it. I mean, we might be too late for this dude, though.
So now, you said your name's Ambelina?
Yep.
And what brought you out to this area?
Well, lots of things. Mostly the food, drink, and maybe some kitties. Yeah, that's really it.
Like the little kind, right? And not like the kind like you.
Well, we don't call me Kitty, per se. I'm still trying to pinpoint exactly what I am, because technically the term would be tabaxi, but no tabaxi has ever seen somebody like me before. because I'm mostly human looking, except for, like my ears and my tail. It's the little things, some fur here and there.
Tabaxi. I see.
I'm an odd one. So, we're trying to figure that out.
Well, you're quite cute.
I think this would actually be a great time. In our first session last month, we kind of gave names and classes and races. But I think this would be an excellent point for each of you to actually describe your characters.
So,
Sorts.
I am about 5'2". I have porcelain skin. My eyes are cat-shaped. They have the irises or cat eyes. They are like a greenish purple, but they're like a swirling marble, if you will. I have 2 red ears. The entire edges are covered in piercings of all kinds. And my tail is red. My ears and my tail can be mistaken for a fox sometimes. Especially if I'm mad and I'm poof. Otherwise, you don't really see any other traits that are tabaxi-ish. My nails could be confused as it. That's really it. And my hair color is red. Usually. Unless I'm dyeing it some wackadoo color.
Who would like to go next?
Am I good, Samuel? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Arius is a Githrazai. Looks pretty young, or late teens, early 20s, about 5'8", 180 pounds. Looks to be a bit more built and muscular than most Gith, if any of your characters have seen them before. Has green yellow skin, green eyes, red orange hair, and like a kind of a goatee. He has the typical spots that many Gith tend to have. And he's like draped in black and purple light leather clothing. With his arms exposed, carries a scimitar on his side. Has on the other side where the scimitar isn't, a black orb with it looks like it's made out of glass with golden glass around it as well. And around his neck, he has a garnet.
All right, on to you, Saoirse.
Saoirse is a satyr, and she has the ear on her, the fur, on her ears and her legs is kind of a baby pink. And then her hair is more of a brighter fuchsia color. And she is wearing a green top and skirt with a chain shirt that you can kind of see tucked under it. And she has this cute little flower hat on. She has a staff and a shield with her, and some component pouches on her back belt. And she has glitter all over her, just glittery makeup, glittery lipstick, just everything is just sparkly about her.
Okay, I suppose I can go next. Val is actually going to be somewhat of a unique character, and this is the first time I've actually played this race myself as well. He is actually a Shadowborn. They're actually a race created essentially from Shadow in hell, so he's literally created from hell. His complexion mostly kind of like pale white skin-ish, but his body is constantly giving off like this black kind of mist. So it's kind of difficult to discern his facial features for the most part. And then he has emerald deep green eyes that are almost somewhat demonic-like in nature. So, needless to say, if his gaze is upon you, it constantly feels like he can see like every single truth and dirty little secret you're trying to hide. Other than that, his clothing pretty much consists of your general ranger outfit that's entirely black, and just because he mostly conceals himself in shadow. Current equipment is mostly currently 2 short swords, a bow, and then he also has a unique silver bracelet that was given to him by the goddess Morgan to kind of aid him on his quest that has its own unique little abilities, which will soon awaken at one at a time as he continues on. But other than that, that's basically it mostly for him. Oh, and silver long hair, of course. I almost forgot about that.
Can go next. Greer is a centaur. From the waist down, just kind of like a silvery gray, kind of really muted and not shiny at all. Does not look super healthy, and kind of down around her legs fades to black, and then goes to these dark black hooves, black hair, black tail. She's very pale, like deathly, almost undead, but not quite, still actually living. And is wearing like leather, almost gladiator-esque leathers, and has 2 swords at either side, big bow, and her black curly hair is pulled up into a high ponytail, and this big, really intimidating looking crown of silver razors essentially is sitting on her brow with above very piercingly gray eyes, and she looks pissed all the time. And she has a giant gash wound scar in the side of her horse torso.
Who's next?
I'll go. If I'm the happy to your pissed. I actually have the note sheet, so I just need to bring it back up. Gray actually appears as a slender, kind of middle height elf. If you're familiar with Eladrin, they actually look as maybe they've been touched by spring a bit, with a wavy mop of light pink hair pulled halfway back, has messy waves hitting about shoulder length. Gray's eyes are a deep, almost sea green turquoise, and they're always looking at people, sizing them up as if either assessing them or admiring them. Definitely always with a bit of amusement. Gray's clothing is flattering and decorative. There's lots of bright colors and sashes. Surprisingly, not a stitch of gray to be found. They favor deep gemstone colors, accentuated with glints of jewelry in many different styles from different areas, seeming to have been collected in possible travels. Aside from that, they are not carrying any weapons except for a couple of decorative-looking type daggers. And the only armor you can see is kind of worked into the clothing as a bit of leather here and there. Also damn sexy.
No argument there. Anyone else?
Oh, am I the last one?
I believe so.
Oh, okay. Fun. Well, Freya at least looks human. She's right about 6 feet tall, so tall, and as I think Gray mentioned before, quite broad through the shoulders. She's got fair skin, freckles, generally very strong, kind of robust bone structure features. dark black hair that's braided back very tightly, and like French braids go under. What are the ones that are on top? Dutch braids. That's it. Kind of very Viking style braids designed to keep her hair out of her face through anything. She's got very light gray, almost metallic silvery eyes, and let's see if I can get my glasses off enough, scar crossing through her right eyebrow to just under her right eye that, despite the fact that it looks quite old, still stands out pretty clearly. She's wearing a sleeveless chainmail shirt with probably a gorget and wing design pauldrons over it, and bracers, and good sensible footwear. The sword that was looking rather odd during our battle last session has returned to its, I guess, dormant state of being, so it looks like a well-made, if old, longsword. And she also carries a shield with a unicorn symbol worked into it.
All right. With descriptions out of the way, feel free to return to the conversation.
Oh, one more thing. And I better mention this because I think it's going to be in the official art. Around both of her biceps, she has interwoven like Celtic knot tattoos.
Nothing wrong with a good tattoo.
So after Ambelina finished saying there was something odd about her, Saoirse chimes in. Well, I think you're pretty cute.
Well, thank you. So are you, I suppose. Ever seen one of you before?
Oh, I'm called a satyr.
It's kind of like it's gonna sound like a totally rookie question, and I apologize. But like from fairy tales, satyr?
Oh yes. Lots of people have little tales about us. Yes, but yeah, we're real.
You're not gonna like trick me into another dimension, are you?
I don't do that, no. But there's two sort of types of fae folk. And there's good ones and there's bad ones. I work for the good side.
I've read a lot of books. I mean, I've heard a lot of stories. It's definitely interesting to see one basically come out of a book, I guess, if you will. I'm not really good with words. Apologies. But yeah, that's really cool.
Fairies are real too.
They are? They fly?
Yeah, they've got wings and everything.
Throw fantastic parties too.
The Fae realm is very much real as well. Occasionally, if you go poking around in enough caves, you might find yourself there by accident.
Oh, that just means a lot more for me to study and see then. I have so much more to learn than I anticipated. That's gonna be cool.
No, you all lot need to stop poking around. You little flower, you're lucky you didn't end up in the wrong side of things.
I'm sorry, I did not know that the stories about that cave being a portal to the underworld were true, and I was very small at the time. I did not know any better.
I have a hard time believing you were ever small.
I was quite small at that point. Thus the name Little Flower, which I'm not sure it really fits anymore, but
It needs to be more like Big Flower.
You won't stop me calling you that.
I don't mind it. But yes, I've definitely grown a small amount since then. It's been what, 20 years?
I suppose by your way of counting, yes, it would be about that. Has that scar never healed in all this time?
Well, it's healed. It doesn't hurt anymore. It's just never gone away either. I don't really think much of it. I imagine I'll acquire plenty more with the type of life I've chosen.
Perhaps it's something to do with the sword. I'll have to send a letter.
That horn on the tip of the pommel was quite useful, although it had its downsides as well.
So Greer, was it? What exactly would we need to find that giant minotaur? I was thinking, perhaps we should get some sort of crystals or gems, maybe some turquoise quartz. I know they offer protection. Maybe some sage. We can burn that. Can maybe ward off any evil spirits that might affect our journey. What are you thinking?
I don't know much about any talismans, or do those types of things hold properties that will aid in a hunt?
Well, of course, everything does. Ants, crystals, the stars. I mean, they guide us throughout every day. I'm just thinking, if we're gonna go over against something that big, we should have all the ammo we can get. Correct?
I have arrows in my pack, if that's what you mean.
I'm sure that could help as well. I do a tarot reading, but I'm a little too new to it to properly do this. I have been getting a little bit better at astrology, though. When it's dark out,
Hard.
I look to the stars, see what we can do there. Perhaps that'll give us some guidance into which direction to go. Just
Tell you what,
give me a few
at some point in
moments.
time, I will show you how to do proper readings with bones. Cards are just too many, too confusing.
Oh, you say? Well, that is very interesting. You know, I'm always looking for more ways to really just explore what's out there. Why I was here in the first place, prior to my friend being taken away, but no, all in due time. I think I want to focus on my friend first, but I just need to find the right stones.
You are rather far from home, too.
Oh, actually, I'm from the Faerun as well, so you're correct. I am. Kind of a long story there, but no, looking to
It's the
find a little
green
bit
that
more
gives
about
it
this
away.
artifact here, and yes, kind of not focused on going back home just yet.
Well, the gods do speak to us in many ways, so if there's stones you think will help, we can try to find them.
Oh, thank you so much. Someone who understands.
And without a
You, my
doubt, there's
fellow.
always wizard spells. Fireball solves all most problems anyway.
I mean, I am well versed in more of nature magic, to say, and transformation, but you know, as with the arrows, any little bit helps, especially with what we're facing.
And Greer, if I may, what exactly are we facing, you seem to know quite a bit about this creature.
We are hunting Tunrahg the Cruel. He is legendary, unfortunately, strong minotaur. Is a monster. He killed me.
Well, you look pretty good for being killed.
When Greer mentions that Tunrahg killed her, Saoirse looks very uncomfortable.
I've been given the chance to hunt him again by Iran. Not that I had much choice in the matter. Seems to like his playthings.
Seems like a good way to get killed again.
Yes. I would prefer not to.
If I may, I'm glad you're not dead anymore.
Not the life I once had.
Better than no life, or becoming somebody's puppet.
Bounty hunter, more like. My contract. First contract.
Well, in my
I
experience,
hunt things for him, and in my spare time, he allows me to look for Tunrahg.
You need to get some better habits or hobbies, my dear. Have you considered, like, I don't know, taking up cards, knitting, dancing? Are way better hobbies than hunting down stampeding bullmen.
I didn't say I wasn't any good at cards.
Oh, do tell.
So, Tunrahg isn't your main assignment then?
At the moment, he is. That could change if Iran decides to mess with my plans yet again. On this hunt a while, and he tends to enjoy tormenting me, interrupting at the worst possible moments.
Is there anything more you can tell us about?
I just know how to track him. I've never taken one down before, a minotaur, despite trying.
So, then, what would you need to track him and when could we start?
Well, we have our first clue. We know where to go. That's all I can give you at the moment.
Well, I've never been one to back down from a challenge or say no to an adventure, so my sword and shield are at your disposal.
Well, that's all fine and dandy, but I would recommend we try to get any kind of advantage over this creature as much as possible, considering he seemed to have laughed at our feeble attempts in stopping him. Not to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but I suggest we prepare well if we're going to hunt this thing.
Oh, that is
No.
why I mentioned the turquoise before. Protection.
Well, I don't know if it helps or not, but I did send some samples home. So maybe my contact will be able to glean some information. better than, some of us.
How exactly does a turquoise help? Sorry, I'm just rather confused by that.
Well, I mean, crystals, gems, stones, they all have properties. Some of them are for healing. You just
Magic.
actually, no, I don't know. I've just been told that before. Trying
Is
to
it
find
a
a
magic
shopkeeper that can
stone?
help me out.
Do you believe everything you're told?
Not exactly. I don't think so. I mean, if you ask my friends, they would say so, perhaps.
I like spending time near you. Anyway, I cannot guarantee that I'm going to, throw my life away fighting the thing, but I will certainly help you get there because I have a feeling this is going to be a very interesting show to watch.
If
Well,
you
if
want
we
me
do,
to, I could look at the turquoise and determine if it's useful in any way. I mean, some stones give off magic, some don't.
But it might have been quartz. I'm sure if I find a shopkeeper in this city, they can definitely guide us through this.
Okay.
Great, now I gotta look up the meanings of rocks.
well, Gray, if we do successfully find, was it Tunrahg again?
Tunrahg.
You're more than welcome to stand behind me.
It's a wonderful view.
Greer,
Freya's not sure how to take that.
Greer,
It's a compliment, my dear. Just smile and nod.
Greer, you know I won't let this beast harm you another time, so even if the rest of these varied folk don't go all the way, I'll be there with you.
That's two people standing between me and it. This is definitely going to be a good time.
I have missed you and everyone.
And I think it's me a lot more powerful. I mean, I'm all for giving something a whirl.
Well, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Well, among the tenets of the order to which I have pledged myself, I am honor bound to seek out and punish those who do evil, and this Tunrahg certainly seems to be very adept at that. So
You'll be hard pressed to find worse.
so it would seem. I think that my order would expect me to follow this through to the end, whatever that may be.
Well, if nobody has a suggestion for the immediate future of the next day or so, we could always try going to a temple. I know a couple of people at the local temple, and they might be able to point us in the right direction.
It's right about this time that from the back of the bar, the bird you'd seen upon entering kind of squawks a little bit, kind of ruffles its feathers, and then settles back down again.
We generally know the direction of this beast's home, right? Perhaps when we get closer to it, we might be able to find people who are more knowledgeable in it.
It's entirely possible. Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
I admit this is my first time on this continent, so immediately traveling even farther is going to be interesting. I've not traveled nearly so far from home before. I look forward to it. There's a great wide world out there. It's about time I saw more of it.
We're here. Well, it's good
Oh.
to know I'm not the only one who's not from this place. Seems to
No,
be several of us.
I grew up on a small farm on the western isle of Passalos. So this is my first time in a city.
I've been in my fair share of these towns, squalls. Oh, yeah, I've been around. Slave markets are fun.
It's right at the same time that you say this, Ambelina. Give me a perception check. With advantage, because you're looking for it.
Slave markets and fun are not two words I would use in the same sentence.
Yes, I would certainly agree with what Freya just said.
You'd be surprised. I mean,
No, I don't think I would. My people have a history of being enslaved. I don't think they had a fun time at all, nor that where they were sold was fun. So I hard disagree there. I'm sorry.
mm.
So
Well,
if you
you would
change the
have
right
fun
spot,
with, if you ever went with me, I could show you a really good time that would bring smiles all around.
And Ambelina, what did you get for that perception check?
I think I got an 11 because it's what you roll twice.
Yep, roll twice to take the higher number for advantage.
Higher number 14 then.
All right, so with 14, as you're sitting here having this conversation, you're kind of keeping an eye out the window of the Sacred Chalice, keeping an eye out for a specific thing. And as you're watching and listening and conversating, you see two hooded men carrying a large burlap sack that is moving.
Well, I have to go use the little girl's room. You guys, pardon me real quick. I will be back in a moment.
Okay.
And I just get up and I go walk towards where I think the bathroom is.
So you head back towards the backside of the building, past the bar, past the man and the hawk, past the storage room and the band on the left side, and you get to as you're passing the storage room, you see the hint of a fluttering wing. It's kind of a largish wing, so it's not like a little bird or a little insect. It's largish. You've never seen a wing this large, but you're on a mission. You're going. You pass it by, pass the storage room by, and you turn left towards the side exit or side entrance to the building.
I flip my hood up and I quietly slip out the door after making sure nobody saw me go out the door.
Okay. And where are you heading?
The direction where the two men in the burlap sack went.
Okay. So, as you come out of the alleyway back towards the front side of the building, you see them heading to the right, back in the direction of the stone gate. And I'm guessing you follow them, keeping
the shadows.
A slightly safe distance so that they don't notice you. They make a left turn off the main street into a neighborhood. You follow them in, You see them turn another corner. Keeping a safe distance, you follow behind, making that same turn. But when you get there, after making that turn, they've disappeared. They're no longer in that dead-end alley.
I stop to listen, using all my senses, ears, my smell. Do I see, smell, or hear any?
Give me either an event or an investigation or a perception check. Whichever one you roll will give you slightly different information.
And you said advantage? Or no?
No advantage.
Yeah, well, oop.
What'd you roll?
A 4.
A 4
Actually,
on... is it for Nat 1? On perception or investigation?
Investigation.
Got it. So...
I'm +3.
Well, a Nat 1 is a Nat 1. So, as you turn this corner and see that they've disappeared, you see what looks to be some crates and little boxes and trash cans and things out here in this little dead-end alley. No doors to speak of. And you go up to these crates and boxes and start looking around, and you kind of try to step up a little bit onto one of the boxes to kind of look into one of the higher boxes. Your foot collapses right through the box, creating a huge, loud crash. You fall backwards, kind of landing on your butt for a second, stand back up, kind of look around some of the other places, making so much noise that anybody who you might have been following is long gone.
Oh, shoot. That was a bust. And there I go again, getting all clumsy. I guess I better hurry back to the tavern. Ugh, traveling with people, this blows. I can't get away with this shit. Okay. I'm definitely gonna need more alcohol if I'm gonna be hanging around these people. Alright, we're gonna go, people. We got this. We gotta go back. We're gonna go people again. Alright. At least the satyr's cute. Yeah, the satyr's really cute. Okay. After a pep talk, she starts walking back to the tavern, still muttering under her breath about various little things.
Alright, so as you're heading back, we return to the rest of the group, who are still gathered around this table, waiting for their friend to return from the bathroom. Before we jump into that, Ambelina, are you going back through the side door or coming in through the front door?
As I'm muttering to myself, I'm like, wait a minute. Something that I saw. I need a closer look at that before. And I'll slip into the back door and go to that room where I saw.
Okay.
Something.
Sounds good. Alright, so jumping back to the rest of the group, so we'll get to that in a moment. Jumping back to the rest of the group, as you're carrying on this conversation, waiting for Ambelina to come back, the bird squawks again, ruffles its feathers a little bit. The head of the bird is kind of looking in your direction. Not you specifically, but you as a group. And for some reason, it kind of catches your eyes. Like, why do I know this bird?
What was this directed at? Sorry.
This was at Gray, sorry.
Krug. Where do I know the bird from? And who did I piss off?
Give me a history check.
I'm just gonna assume I seduced their owner at some point in time.
Well, the owner is the man the bird is sitting next to. He seems familiar, too.
Don't remember where I've seen this person before.
You remember, as you're kind of trying to picture where you know this man and this bird from, there was a reason you were here in the city.
Is this the person I'm supposed to be collecting a debt from?
No, this is the other party in the transaction.
The one the debt is owed to? What the debt was owed to, dear mother?
It is. There's a third party. So you got the mothers, the person you're collecting from, and the one that it happened to.
Well then. I don't have a debt to give them, so they're just gonna have to wait.
And Freya, as this conversation's been going on, you've been feeling a pull back towards the back of the bar where all those paintings are.
Well, listening to that little mental nudge has always led me to fun things. So when there's a decent break in the conversation, I'll go ahead and get up and start walking back there. I don't think I'm going to bother to, I might excuse myself, but not really explain why I've just decided to get up and walk off.
All right. So as you get up and head back there, you see that there's on the various walls that have paintings on them. There's probably 7 or 8 different paintings that are hung.
Where on the map is this?
So let's see. Let me adjust the map. So I need to. So I'm adjusting things on Discord as well, or not Discord, but in the stream side of things, and on Roll20. So at Roll20, if you move up towards the top of the map,